Good evening, everyone. Hi, Diane. So tonight is my Techniques Tuesday. This is something I do once a month. And before I get into my project, I just want to remind everyone that we have a super awesome promotion going on at Stampin' Up. For the whole month of July, if you sign up to be on my team, you get to pick a color family of ink pads. And since yesterday, I've welcomed Tracy, Rhonda, and Joanne to my team. And I'd love to welcome more people. So once you sign up, you get to pick $125 worth of product for $99, free shipping, and you get to pick one of these color families and get 10 free ink pads. So I just wanted to remind everybody, this is going to end on July 31st, and it's an awesome deal. So tonight I'm going to be using the En Route stamp set. You've seen me use this before. I'm just going to bring in the 4 cards that I made a few weeks ago. I think it was a a Sunday Share where I did a catalog case of these 4 cards. So I'm using the same colors tonight because I'm using the same designer paper. And I'm going to show you how to emboss on foil. There's a neat way to do this so you don't lose all the bumps on your foil. You can see how pretty that is. So it really makes for a nice masculine card. So let me show you the ink colors. Mango Melody, Pineapple Punch, Blueberry Bushel, and Gray Granite. For cardstock, 11 by 4 1/4 scored at 5 1/2. And then I have 3 pieces of designer paper, 5 1/4 by 4. This little tiny one that measures 2 by 3/4 of an inch. And then a scrap that we're going to cut a circle out of. Whisper White scrap for stamping. And then another piece, 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And then a scrap piece of Mango Melody. And lastly, an adhesive sheet. And you guys saw me use this on Sunday. I'm using this again tonight. This measures 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. Hello, everyone that's chiming in. I'm so glad you're here. I wanted to tell you guys, I went picking strawberries today and my hands are all stained, so don't laugh at my nails. I tried to clean them as best as I could. I've got red all over me and my hands are all stained from the strawberries. So I'm going to start out a little backwards tonight. Instead of doing the cardstock folding and everything, we're going to start out with the foil. Because I want to show you the way not to do it and then the proper way of doing it. So let me grab my Big Shot. And I'm using the new Maps embossing folder. This is one of the thick ones. And you don't have to use 2 clear plates on your Big Shot. You just need 1 clear plate. What I'm going to do is do the embossing straight on the foil. And I'll bring my Big Shot back in a minute. What I want to do is show you what happens. It's pretty, right? It's just foil. When I bring in a scrap and glue this down. Now this is not the one I'm going to be using. So when I do this, what do you think is going to happen when you're gluing it? Your little bumps are going to flatten out. See when I press on it? The bumps all flatten out, so it doesn't work well this way. I'm going to show you the best way to do this. I'm going to bring in the adhesive sheet and my smaller piece of white. And remember the other night I showed you to use your bone folder just to burnish, to make sure it sticks real good. Then we're going to peel this off. And I always use a foil that's bigger than what I'm using for cardstock. So now I'm going to flatten this out, bring in the Big Shot. So this time what I'm doing is embossing with the cardstock in the back of the foil. Oops, let me move this over a little bit. So the difference between the two ways that I showed you, your cardstock gets embossed at the same time, so you won't lose your bumps. Does that make sense? Now I'm going to glue the foil and fold it over. So by doing it this way, you won't lose your bumps. And then I just fold this over and it makes a nice finish on the edge of your cardstock. So now you can press as hard as you want on these bumps and they won't go away because you have the cardstock backing it up. So that's just a little tip when using foil. Now I'm going to bring in the card base. Let me bring the card back in so you guys can see it if you're just chiming in. And I'm going to do the designer paper. This is the same one that's on this card, but I'm going to use this side this time. Okay, then we're going to glue the foil in place. Now, because this is foil, I'm going to use the tear and tape. It's just easier than trying to roll snail on foil. So a reminder that I don't have class tomorrow on my regular Wednesday weekly class. It's the 4th of July, and I know you guys are all going to be out there doing something. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'm going to do something. Whoops, I didn't get that one. So you can see this sticks well on the foil. I just worry about rolling the snail on there and then the foil will lift up and then you'll ruin your foil piece. Okay, so there's 2 designer papers. So you can choose which one you like the best. Now let's do a little bit of stamping. So my little map image, I actually stamp on scrap first. And then we're going to cut that out. Oh, I forgot to mention the punches. I'm using the 2 1/4, 1 3/4, and 1.5 inch punch. So for the map, it's going to be the 2.5 inch, and it fits perfectly in there. Next up, where did my card go? I'm going to do this mango ring. The easiest way to do a ring, I'm sure most of you guys know this, is to start with a smaller punch first. So this is just a scrap. Then you bring the larger one, which is the 1 3/4, and you just center that on the inside. Oh, I just killed that one. Let me try that again. No, I don't have it big enough. I'm going to hide this part anyway. I went too close to the edge there and I snipped part of it off. But through the magic of another layer, we can cover that up. And this is live, so I can't fix my boo-boo. But you guys told me you like to see boo-boos anyway, to see how I fix them. So that works out good. So I just cut out the banner. Next up is the gray granite. I wanted to mention the other week when I used this, I told you guys all the little white areas means that there's a coordinating punch. I forgot to mention that the white areas too, this is more of a vanilla. The white indicates that those are framelits. So there's a square framelit that cuts that one. But tonight I'm actually going to dissect this whole thing and cut as close as I can around the wording. Because I just wanted a little rectangle. I didn't want a big square because I didn't want it to cover most of the other layers. Okay, so there's the sentiment. And then my little sign, that's in Pineapple Punch. And I'm also going to hand cut this one. I wish we had a framelit for this sun because I think every time I've used it, I've gone ahead and cut it out. We are so spoiled with our dies now. So it's really hot in Maine finally, almost too hot. It's been in the high 90s. So I'm sure it's hot wherever you guys are all from, because we're usually one of the coldest states. Okay, now I just need to trim in between the signs just a little bit. This is the only piece you guys have to watch me fussy cut. I know Rebecca said she likes to see me do everything because she's new at stamping and she's still learning. One more. And then all I have left to do is cut a piece of the designer paper and then we'll glue everything together. So another quick card. Okay, now I'm going to bring in the designer paper and cut that with the 1 3/4 punch. Okay, now I'm going to bring in the Night of Navy twine and just wrap that around twice. And I don't usually cut my ribbon or twine ahead of time. If you see, I still keep it on the spool. That way I don't waste any. And then when I'm done, I just cut it from there. Okay, so let me just move this at the bottom. Now we're ready to glue. I'm going to use Stamping Dimensionals on the large circle. And I'm actually going to glue this one in place first. So this is just a lot of layering of different elements. You got designer paper, you got cardstock, and then your stamped images. Now this is the one that I kind of killed, but we're gonna fix that. That one's gonna go right there. Oh, and that's a good point. She says, hopefully we're all still learning no matter how long we've been stamping. There's always something new coming out, whether it's a technique or a new product. There's always something new to learn with stamping. That's so true. Okay, now I'm going to glue the banner. My little sentiment is going to go right there. I am going to add a stamping dimensional to the right side. And then I'm going to bring in the mini dimensionals for the sign. So there's a lot of layers on this card. There's a lot of elements, and that's what makes for a nice card. If you guys have designer paper, I can't stress, you know, as much as I've been trying to stress, use your designer paper. Don't hoard it and leave it sitting on a shelf somewhere. Okay, I'm just going to cut the end of this sign off a little. And then we're going to add some embellishments. Now these are called Best Root Enamel Shapes. They're in little pieces because I did a product share, and this is what was left over from my product share. So there's the little directional or the location thingamajigger. I'm going to add a little blue one right here. And then I've got 2 of the little yellow dots that go on the banner. So see how much just those little enamel shapes add to the card? Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot my little car, my little vehicle. You know why I forget? Because I didn't even take it out. Or maybe I did. Yes, I did. It's right here. It was hiding, so I missed it. So that's another one that we need to hand cut. And of course, there's a little bicycle that comes with this set. You could use the bicycle. There's a little, I think it's a little train. There's an airplane. So you could use any of those vehicles instead of the car. So let's add a mini dimensional. Oh, Karine, I love the little car too. It's so cute. Let's put him up here. There, that's it for tonight. So you can see the different designer paper that I used brightens this one up quite a bit. And if you want more of a soft muted card, the gray granite is the way to go on that. So that's the card for tonight. Again, I won't be on tomorrow because of 4th of July. I do have a Step It Up Sunday coming on Sunday. So I'll be doing 3 cards, just like I did a few weeks ago. Start out with a simple card and step it up twice. So happy 4th of July, everyone. Thanks for joining in tonight. Thanks for all the love, and I'll see you guys on Sunday. Have a good week.